What's the most I'm turning into my parents moment for you? I repeat stories. Every time I go home to visit, I'll hear things from my dad that he's either told me by phone already or stories I've heard 100 times. I found that I have also started telling people about stories from my past that I've already told them. Convenient that I don't make up stuff, or I'd have to remember all my stuff. I remember you telling us about this. Proceeds to tell the story again anyway, right? That stuff never works. It's supposed to be a polite way of saying, yep, I remember. You've told me several times before, please don't do it again. But it never seems to work. My mom does this, and now I do, and it ticks me the frick off so often. My husband never fails to remind me that I've already told him the story 30 times. That's why meeting new people is fun. They have not yet heard any of your stories. My dad has a way worked himself to death. Now he's retired. When he comes over now, as soon as he sits down on a couch, he falls asleep within minutes. I'm noticing couches are starting to have the same effect on me. Same for my dad. He says it's from his military days, when he had to sleep, when he could get it. He will go days without sleep sometimes, since he also worked night shifts. So he gets home at like 6 AM, messes with the boat, then heads out fishing, until he has to go back to work. When he comes to my house, he'll hit the couch, and get 5 minutes into a movie before he's out. Sometimes he'll call me and be like, I'm really liking this John Wick movie. I started it last week. I'm about halfway through. I don't think he's sat fully through a movie in my life. I started it last week. I'm about halfway through. Same. Except I just have a short attention span. Same here. But movies just knock me out. It's too much of a time commitment. You see, the reason I watch movies is because it's less of a time commitment than a book. I watch Netflix because I fall asleep after reading at most 2 pages of a book. As I stared into the mass of various saved rubber bands and twist ties, I have to dump the 4,786 plastic bags my brother will save and keep 5 to 10 of them. The bag struggle is real. I tried to get a bag out of my bag, only to discover the bag itself was a bag, inside of which were more bags, all tightly crushed together. I was a little worried this endless Matroska bag would never end, so I put the bag back in the bag, back into the bag, and hid the whole mess under the sink again in case it turns out to be a white hole limiting matter as bags. The trick is getting the outermost bag first. The outermost bag is usually the largest as it fits the most bags in it. If you use that bag you have an even bigger problem of digging through the bag and consequently the bags in order to find a new bag. I think we've got this one in the bag, folks. Easy. Walking around turning off light switches, complaining about waste of electricity, except now with 6 watt LED bulbs compared to the 100 watts from back in the day, it costs 1.7 cents as opposed to 29 cents to be left on for 24 hours at a 12-cent electricity cost. You want to save on electric? Gotta reduce that HVAC motor from running at 500 watts via better insulation / windows, etc. Don't care. It annoys me when I look, and 90% of the lights are on in the house, yet everyone is in the same room. I'll do it during the winter, because having little light on will make me feel depressed otherwise. You know what's more annoying? Roommates that preach about turning off lights and other things when you move in, but they themselves turns on more lights than is even necessary for the room they were in, e.g. hallway and lounge light, just for going into the kitchen, as well as the kitchen light of course, and then to find them all still on an hour later when they are in their bedroom. Multiple times, not just a one-off. Or roommates that get mad at you for sassing them when you have to repeatedly ask them to not set the thermostat to 24 degrees Celsius, 74 degrees Celsius F, in the room where you spend orders of magnitude more time than them. Asking nice didn't work, asking firmly didn't work, passive aggression didn't work, argument didn't work. So I'm at IHOP one day, already finished with breakfast, on my second cup of coffee, and the waiter comes with the bill. As I pull out my debit card to pay it, I put my wallet away and think to myself, just let me sit here and enjoy my coffee, which is a phrase that my mother has used so many times at breakfast that she could patent it. I'll admit it does feel nice to just relax and enjoy it instead of rushing out the door as soon as you're done. Now it's something I do routinely. Edit. Indeed, I realize I can pay the bill and not leave immediately. It's just this one moment I vividly recall not doing so. Also, I probably should have mentioned that the town I live in is pretty small and IHOP is usually quite dead most of the time. Otherwise I wouldn't take it upon myself to make people wait for a table while I'm just there sipping coffee. Let me finish my coffee. Mom proceeds to take the smallest sip of coffee ever to prove that she's still drinking it. I have 2 toddlers. I caught myself saying that phrase as a parent with the realization that it really was code for be quiet and leave me alone. I laughed. I say this every morning. I can't function first thing in the morning and my child doesn't stop talking from the moment she wakes up until the moment she passes out again. Yup, my coffee cup can be cold and almost empty, but I still say, yes, we'll play insert mind-numbing game here when I finish my coffee. Over the course of college, I went from milk and sugar in my coffee to straight black with an espresso shot. I went from ketchup on a lot of things to simply salt and pepper. The sweet tooth turned into a salty/savory tooth. This happened to me. I went from a sickeningly sweet and light coffee drinker to preferring just a splash of cream. And my mom would always say how she didn't like pop, soda, and actually preferred water. And I always thought she was lying until I got to the age where I don't care for pop unless I'm sick. Then it's Venice all the way and prefer water. Crazy. I'm with you on the coffee. Loved the caffeine, but hated the taste until I tried it black. My dad's preference. Personally, I'm more of a Canada Dry guy when I'm sick, but yeah, I can't finish a can of soda on a normal day. It makes me feel sick. You know what's funny is that I remember my dad getting to a certain point in life that he couldn't/can't drink full caffeinated coffee and thinking that was so weird. But within the last year or so, I find regular coffee and tea super hard on my stomach most days, and a lot of times you'll see me sitting at my desk with a glass of water while everyone else huddles around the coffee pot. I'm sorta the same, actually. I used to drink it all day every day, but now it's almost like my body has begun to limit itself to 1 cup in the morning. Some days I don't even drink coffee. My 3-year-old told me as I turned on the TV, "Don't turn on the news, Dad." I 100% remember saying that to my parents. There's always a certain age where you go from hating the news to becoming deeply interested in it. Next level is talking back to the TV and really realizing you become the parts of your parents you hate, strictly out of programming. At least once a week I shout either, "That's not news," "Why the frick is this on the news?" or "Why the frick are you interviewing a child?" My 2 pet hates are irrelevant stories. I'm in Australia, but we often get, "This burglar in Los Angeles was unlucky when they met a bear" style bad stories. And interviewing child witnesses. Well, like, a big truck, like, crashed and went boom, and it was very scary. Interviewing children does annoy me, but interviewing unintelligent adults really grinds my gears. So, like, I seen this, like, big truck, and, like, it came, like, screaming around that there corner right there, and, like, it skidded, and, like, smashed right into that building. It was epic. When I went from, "Oh hey, this restaurant has live music, cool," to, "Dang it, look at them setting up a drum kit. It's going to be too loud. I can't hear. Why do they do this?" Even when I was younger, I couldn't stand this. Hey guys, know what's a great time? All of us going deaf. Feedback squeal. Nothing better than acoustic drum kits in small indoor spaces, like basements with dry-walled 7-foot ceilings. We finally bought in-ear monitors, and I think I've significantly slowed down how much abuse I'm putting my ears through because of them. If you get good ones, they isolate so well, we actually have to put an overhead mic on the kit to be able to hear the drummer again. It's a really weird sensation standing next to a drummer pounding away, and you can kind of feel it a little bit, but not hear it at all. Earplugs work too, but it sounds muffled, they say. So does everything when you have no hearing left. Well, except for your screeching tinnitus that never stops. That will sound crystal clear. Seriously people, wear earplugs. It doesn't even have to be drums. I don't get why any restaurant plays music louder than background noise. People come there to eat, not listen to the latest EDM tracks. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more videos like this. Don't forget to leave your stories in the comments below.